A prison filled with male inmates. Unexpectedly, an unconscious girl was delivered, and she was holding a note in her hand. The contents of the note frightened everyone immensely. It stated that this would be the prison's final inmate. While everyone was puzzled, the girl suddenly awoke. She looked upward and shouted the name of one of the inmates, before fainting once more. Everyone turned to look at the person whose name was called. Thomas, however, looked utterly confused, because he didn't know the girl at all. The inmates had been confined here for 3 years, and every month new male inmates were brought in, yet no females had ever appeared. In order to decipher the note's meaning, everyone decided to wait for her to regain consciousness, but to everyone's surprise, after the girl woke up, she secretly gathered 2 buckets of stones from the woods and hid in the watchtower, continuously hurling them downward. She was afraid that these inmates harbored ill intentions, so she threw stones for a full half hour. Eventually Thomas remembered to state his name. Only then did the girl lower her guard and agree to speak with him. Climbing up the straight staircase, he finally saw the girl holding a knife. It turned out that everyone who entered this prison lost their memory, and as time passed, they would gradually recall their own names. Lisa too in her dreams shouted out Thomas' name. The two might have known each other before their memory loss, or perhaps even been close friends. Seeing that she had calmed down, Thomas carefully took the knife from her hand. Then the two of them strived to recall the events before their memory loss, but the scattered fragments weren't enough to piece the whole story together. Realizing that neither harbored any ill intentions, she then reached into her pocket and pulled out 2 vials of serum. No one knew what their effect was, yet these serums were about to change everything. It turned out that the prison was as vast as the city itself, surrounded by walls towering 100 meters high. Every morning a gate would open in the wall, but the outside wasn't an exit. Rather, it was a labyrinth made up of various stones, and as soon as evening arrived, the walls would move closer together, driven by gears, closing the gate once more, and it wouldn't reopen until the next morning. Although he had blocked the escape route, he had at the same time saved everyone, because every time night fell, terrible monsters would emerge outside the walls, and no one could survive a single night out there. This effectively became a method of punishment for those who had committed crimes. They would be expelled from the prison by everyone before the gate closed, and left in the labyrinth to be devoured by monsters. 3 years passed, while an expedition team tirelessly searched for a way out of the labyrinth, but never succeeded. Yet on that very morning, someone hurriedly rushed into the labyrinth, apparently having found an exit. But even as evening fell, the expedition team had not returned. As the gate was about to close, no one dared to venture out in search, since long experience had taught them that going out meant only a path to death. Just before the passage closed, the silhouette of the expedition team finally appeared, though one of them was injured in dragging a casualty, who was barely able to run. In the midst of extreme danger, Thomas unexpectedly chose to charge in, and with every bit of strength he dashed through just 1 second before the gate closed.